Today we will be talking about how to find perimeter, area, and volume of figures using radical expressions. So in the first problem on the notes it says, find the perimeter and area of a rectangle with the dimensions of 3 square root of 2 minus 2 and 4 square root of 2 plus 1. So first let's label 4 square root of 2 plus 1, 3 square root of 2 minus 2. And we're going to find perimeter first, which is 2L plus 2W. Let's plug in our numbers and you get 2 minus 2 plus 2 4 2 plus 1. And from here you're going to FOIL this to this, the 2. Let's do that. I ran out of room. So I'm going to rewrite this. Two into 3 square root of 2 minus 2 is 6 square root of 2. And negative 4. And then we're going to take the next side and multiply it by 2 and add it to this. 4 square root of 2 plus 1. So 2 times 4 square root of 2 would be 8 square root of 2. And 2 times 1 is 2. Now you're going to combine like terms. And once you do that, you'll find your perimeter. So let's do that. 6 square root of 2 and 8 square root of 2 make 14 square root of 2. Right? And then negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. So your final perimeter would be 14 square root of 2 minus 2. Now let's do area. And for area, you just do the length times the width, which is going to be 3 square root of 2 minus 2 times 4 square root of 2 plus 1. And you're going to FOIL. So 3 square root of 2 times 4 square root of 2 would be 12 times 2. Because when you do radical 2 times radical 2, it just becomes 2. And then we're going to do 3 square root of 2 times 1, which would be 3 square root of 2. And then negative 2 times 4 square root of 2 would be negative 8 square root of 2. And then negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. Now from here, you're just going to combine like terms to find your area. So your area would equal 12 times 2, which is 24, minus 2, which would be 22. And then negative 8 square root of 2 plus 3 square root of 2 would be negative 5 square root of 2. And that would be your area for this rectangle. Now we're going to move on to the next problem here in a second. Okay. Now we're going to move on to number 2, and it says, find the area of an equilateral triangle with a height of 3 square root of 5 plus 2 and 4 minus 2 square root of 5. We're going to label our height as 3 square root of 5 plus 2. And our base is 4 minus 2 square root of 5. And for triangles, your formula to find the area is base times height divided by 2. So let's plug that in. So it'll be 4 minus 2 square root of 5 times 3 square root of 5 plus 2. And from here, you're just going to FOIL. 4 times 3 square root of 5 is 12 square root of 5. 4 times 2 is 8. Negative 2 square root of 5 times 3 square root of 5 is negative 6 times 5, which would be negative 30. And then negative 2 square root of 5 times 2, it's negative 4 square root of 5. And now from here, you're going to want to combine like terms before we divide by 2. So 12 square root of 5 minus 4 square root of 5 is 8 square root of 5. And then 8 minus 30 is negative 22. So now you're going to divide this by 2, and you're going to get, this reduces to 4 and this reduces to 11. So it'll be negative 11 plus 4 square root of 5. That would be your final answer for the area of this triangle. Now we're going to do number 3, and it says to find the volume of a square prism. So that would mean that all these sides up here are equal. And our equation for this is volume equals length times width times height. So we're just going to plug in our numbers, which they are 2 square root of 3, 2 square root of 3, and 5 square root of 7. So 2 square root of 3 times 2 square root of 3 is 2 times, not 2, sorry, 4 times 3. And then 4 times 3 is 12. So from there you're going to take 12 and multiply it by 5 square root of 7, which would give you 12 times 5 is 60 square root of 7. And that would be your final answer. So for these, you just got to remember to do length times width times height.
So now let's practice on what we just learned. So find the perimeter of the rectangle, the length of 8 square root of 2 plus 3, and the width of 6 square root of 2 plus 2. And so the formula is P equals 2L plus 2W. And so 8 square root of 2 plus 3 plus 2, 6 square root of 2 plus 2. And so you distribute the 2 to the 8 square root of 2 and 3. So it would be 16 square root of 2 plus 6. And then 2 distribute to the 6 square root of 2 and 2. So that would be plus 12 square root of 2 plus 4. And let's make some room to combine like terms. And so 16, oops, my bad. So 16 plus 12 square root of 2, that'd be 28, 28 square root of 2. And then 6 plus 4 is 10. So your perimeter is 28 square root of 2 plus 10. So now let's find the area of an equilateral triangle. And the base is 3 square root of 7 plus 2. And the height is 5 square root of 7 plus 3. And the formula is area equals base times height divided by 2. And so 3 square root of 7 plus 2 and 5 square root of 7 square root of 7 plus 3 and FOIL them. So 3 square root of 7 times 5 square root of 7 would be 35 times 7. And 3 square root of 7 times 3.
Why did you get 35? It's 15.
I'm just kidding. It's not 35, it's 15. So, 3 times 5 is 15. So it'd be 15 square root of, 15 times 7. And then that, 3 square root of 7 times 3 would be 9 square root of 7. And then 2 times 5 square root of 7 would be 10 square root of 7. And then 2 times 3 is 6. And then let's make some room to combine like terms. So 15 times 7 is 105. And then plus 6, that's 111. So 111 plus, and then 9 plus 10 would be 19. So 19 square root of 7. And then you divide that by 2. And then you can't go any farther, so that would be your final answer. And there's your area. Alright, so now let's find the volume of a square prism. And so it'd be 4 square root of 4 square root of 3. And then this side will also be 4 square root of 3 because it's a square. And then the height is 8 square root of 13. So you do 4 square root of 3 times 4 square root of 3, which is 16 times 3, which is 48. And then you do 48 into 8 square root of 13. And so, so now 48 times 8 square root of 3, 13. So 48 times 8 is 384, and the square root of 13. And that's your volume.